I'm Christina Vance. I am going to take you through today the Airbnb website. If you are a first-time Airbnb user, this video is for you. I am both a real estate agent and an Airbnb host in Scottsdale, Arizona, specifically Old Town Scottsdale, Arizona. And I get a lot of questions about how to use the site. It is, B&B is a play on words, basically, bed and breakfast, Airbnb. And it is where you will find the majority of short-term rentals that are furnished here in the Scottsdale area. So we're here on the website, and the first thing you want to do is type in the location of where you're going. So we're going to go ahead and put in Scottsdale, Arizona. And then you have a choice to either plug in the dates that you're looking for or to leave that blank. Depending on your search criteria, you might want to put the dates in if you're looking for something very specific. For the purposes of this video, I'm going to leave the dates open so I can find any listing out there, whether it's already been booked or if it's got availability. I'm going to type in 2 guests and I'm going to hit search. Okay, so what it's going to do is it's going to start off with giving you everything in Scottsdale, and you can see Scottsdale, and actually it's giving us even some things on the map here in Phoenix. But Scottsdale's a pretty big area. So what I like to do is really search by the map because I want to look for a specific area. When I'm traveling, I look for what do I want to be near. And so our Airbnb is in Old Town Scottsdale. So I'm just going to zoom in on the map here on Old Town, and it says it Old Town, so you can kind of see that. And everywhere where you see one of these little pins, that is going to be pretty close to where that location is. And now the host did pick the pin spot, so it is possible to be off just a little bit. You can always confirm with the host. I'm going to zoom in a little bit over in this direction. What I will also point out is that whatever you can see on the map, that's going to be what you're seeing on the list over here on the left. And you're going to see exactly that. So there are more than that. As we come down here, you can see there's 2 pages of homes within this map area. We're only seeing page 1 right now. So, and as you hover over a listing, you can see that it gets highlighted here on the map as well. So I'm hovered over this quaint 2-bedroom mini suite in the heart of Old Town, and you can see it's highlighted on 143. Okay, so let's talk about what those numbers mean. 143 means that is the nightly rate. However, you should know that nightly rates change depending on the season, depending on the night of the week, depending on what the host put in there. And when I say host, the host is essentially, it's usually the owner of the home. So for me, I'm an Airbnb host, and we own 1 home that we rent out on Airbnb. And it's the only one you'll see of ours because it's the only one we put on there. So Airbnb really is able to connect people who own homes that don't want to write leases every time somebody comes and stays for a short period of time. One other thing I should point out that's really important as you're looking for your search here is you want to click right here where you see type of place, because true to a bed and breakfast, these aren't all where you get the whole home. Some of these are actually rooms in a home. You can see here, private room. Private room would mean that someone lives in a house and they rent out one of the bedrooms in the house to one or more of the bedrooms in the house. So know that if you're on a budget, maybe this might be a good option. But if privacy is something that you really want when you travel, you want to be sure that you're clicking entire place. And so when I travel, personally, I like to have the whole place to myself. So when we do that, everything on the list now is only going to be the entire place. So that last one that we saw at the top of the list potentially was a shared bedroom in a home because it's not on our list anymore. Now, Airbnb, I think, they're smart here. They know this is my listing here, so it's showing up first for me. And it may just be because I, click on my own listing from time to time, and so it thinks that I want to see it. But we're going to go ahead and take you through what it looks like when you're looking at the listing. So if I say, well, this looks like an interesting place, I can click on the photos, I can click on the description, it will open it up. Again, this is the nightly price, but this is, an off-season rate, and it is not necessarily the price that you're going to see when you go to book your dates. When you see Superhost, let me also point that out. Not everyone is a superhost. When you see superhost, that means that the host, the person who is in charge of this listing, it has met some minimum standards that have been set by Airbnb. And those are, you know, a certain number of bookings, certain number of ratings. They've got, Airbnb has their own standards to make you a superhost, to make the host a superhost. When I'm on the traveling end of it, I do feel more comfortable when I book from a superhost because I know that they are experienced at hosting and that they must have had some decent reviews to get there. So let's go ahead and click on the listing. Obviously, one of the most interesting things to do is going to be to click through the photos. And you can click on any one of these photos, and that's just going to allow you to keep clicking through and seeing the rest of the photos of the home. Okay. So here you can confirm that you're going to get the whole home. So you can see on this one, you'll have the whole condominium to yourself. This one's not a single family house. You can read a description about the house, more description on the space. You can see what the sleeping arrangements would be. This is definitely important if you're traveling maybe with other people. You want to know what kind of beds are in the place before you get there. So you can see that bedroom number 1 has 1 queen size bed. Bedroom number 2 has 2 single beds. So while it does sleep 4, if 2 people aren't willing to share a bed, this is not going to be a place that's going to really work out for you. You can see the amenities. So, you know, maybe you're going somewhere fancy and you know you're going to need an iron and you don't want to fly with one, and that's important. You can see whether or not the place has an iron in it. And then you can see the dates. On this one, you can see this place is already booked out for all of October and November. If it had any availability, the date would not have a slash through it. You can also click over here on the calendar to look at the dates as well. If I click forward, I can then see, okay, well, the first availability on this one isn't until December 2nd. And then also important, you can read the reviews. And you should know, not only do travelers review the home that they stayed in and the host that they stayed with, but the host reviews the traveler as well. So keep that in mind with how you deal with your host. Get another look at the map, and then you can get some looks at the actual hosts themselves. Occasionally you will find a host that owns more than one place, and it's interesting because then you can come in here and see a little bit more. You might have more than just the reviews on the one host. And then if you have questions about the property before you book it, you can click right here to contact the host. You can see a little bit about check-in and check-out times. Now I'm going to go back to the calendar because let's say we've decided, okay, we really like this place and we want to book it for 2 nights in December. This is just a example. So if I click on December 2nd and then I click out on the 4th, it's not going to allow me to do that because this home has a 5-night minimum stay. So, and you'll find that, you know, there's some people that have their places on here that maybe have an HOA rule of a 30-night minimum stay. So that can be a reason why you might want to put in your check-in, check-out dates if you know what they are. But you will find, this is where you can find out what the minimum stay is and if you're going to meet it. So let's say I go, okay, never mind. I'm going to come in and I want to stay for a whole week. You can click from the 2nd to the 9th and you can see here, it's now telling me what the nightly rate is. And this is important because like I said, the number on the map is the all-time lowest possible rate that you could get. You want to fill in the dates to really see what your actual rate will be. Each Airbnb host charges a cleaning fee, and then Airbnb itself charges a service fee, and then there are taxes and fees that Airbnb takes out that need to get paid to the city. So let's go ahead and try one more thing. Let's say, okay, you know what? I like this place so much. I want to stay for the whole month. Oops, let me click on the 2nd. Click out on the 31st. And now you can see if the host has already put in any discounts. So this one, if you stay for the whole month, you get 15% off the nightly rate, which does remove $718 from your monthly rate. So that can be helpful if you're trying to look for something a little bit longer term. I would also add, so let's go back to the calendar. Let me clear the dates. So we could see there's availability in December, but as I look forward on the calendar, January, February, March, April. Are they really booked up all that time? It's possible that the host just has simply not opened those dates on the calendar yet, which is the case on this one. This is my listing, and I know we get a lot of bookings last minute, and I tend to open up my calendar a little bit late. Now, if you were like, I'm dying to have a place in March, this place maybe is open, you could always contact the host and see, and go from there. So one more thing on here, as you're looking at the host, that's me. As you're looking at the host page here, this is the listing page. This little badge next to my photo is another way of knowing that you're looking at a superhost. So maybe you've forgotten whether or not this place is a superhost place. You can see, there it is with the badge again up on the top, but you can actually see the little badge there telling you that the host is a superhost. So I hope that was helpful. This is a great way to book travel. Obviously, Old Town Scottsdale there's a ton of places here because it is, there's a lot to do, a lot of restaurants, and it's beautiful, and it's great to get away from snowy areas in the wintertime. So if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer those. And obviously, if you're ever looking to do more than just rent a place, maybe you either want to buy a place that you want to be the host on, or you've decided you've spent some time here in Old Town Scottsdale and you love it so much that you want to live here full time, or even just have a second home that you can come to, every 6 months on your own. I would be happy to be your real estate agent on that. So a little plug for me. All right, thanks for watching, and hope to see you around Scottsdale. Thanks. Bye-bye.